All right, gang, welcome back to our vanilla survival here on Osweiler. It is November, 9:37 in the morning, a little bit of a later start today, and our mustard field, the nitrogen is perfect, pH value is bad. Of course, there's not really going to be a whole lot I can do for that pH value. Evidently, mustard does not really require a whole lot of nitrogen. That's the reason why it was looking like that, but it says it's perfect, so we're going to go with it, but the pH value is bad. There's not anything I can do about that. pH value is going to be bad in all three of these fields, as a matter of fact. We had no way to really put lime down at that period of time. Now, these fields here, I believe they need, some of them, there's some weeds in here, so we're going to probably need to spray them or take a weeder or a hoe to them, one of the two. So we'll look into that today and see what we can come up with. I think personally, I think I'd like to do the herbicide approach, even though it's a little bit more expensive. I would like to go that approach. I just don't know if we're going to be able to afford to do so, right? We kind of talked about that in the last episode, right? $40,000 is a decent amount of money, but when you go back into the fact of we are playing vanilla here with a bit of a twist, as we've mentioned many times before, there's not really a whole lot that's inexpensive when it comes to sprayers, right? We can get this one for $30,000. That's great. The problem will become that we were going to have pretty much no money whatsoever after it's done. Now, the thing that could save us here, no, there's nothing in the used market, but the other thing that could potentially save us is if there's any contract we can do that would help us. There is a fertilizing contract we could do, but I don't have any solid fertilizer spreader of any sort. It would have to be a liquid, and that's a little bit more expensive, but we could do that. There is a spraying job. Perfect. So we're going to buy that sprayer, and we'll do the spraying on our fields, and then that is a massive field to spray. That is going to take us a while, but at least we can do that and help, at a bare minimum, offset a little bit of the cost of the actual sprayer itself, and be able to also afford paying for, the pallet of herbicide there. Hopefully we'll have enough to do it all, right? That's hopefully is the case. If not, I guess I could just lease these. $640 less. You're still going to make almost $6,000. It might even be worth doing that. It might actually be worth doing that before we do our own fields. So let's see. Let's see if we can figure out which sprayer that is, because that's really going to, make my decision on if we're going to do it or not. It looks like it is this John Deere Power Spray. It's got a 24 to a 28 meter width. This one has a 24 meter width. So it seems to me we might as well utilize our own and get that extra $640, right? So I think given all of that understanding of what I just said there, the big negative here is that the actual capacity is very small. I'm going to buy the sprayer, and we'll take on that contract first, and we'll just see how long it takes, right? What is this? This configuration, each nozzle of the spray will only turn on while there are actual weeds below the nozzle. Use 90% less herbicide, but it costs $33,000 more. Oh! Pulse width modulation. Pulse width modulation enables the sprayer to control each individual nozzle separately. This enables uniform application regardless of speed and cornering. I cannot afford any of those. Any of those right now. So it's going to be a no from me. So we'll buy that for $30,500. I'm very tempted to potentially buy the extra tank here, but I think for the time being, we probably need to not. We do need a little bit of money in our bank account here, and we still have to buy that pallet of herbicide as well while we're at it. So do we want the Helm or the Corteva? Let's go with the Corteva. I don't think it really makes a difference, but let's go with the Corteva. So we'll head up to the shop, pick that up, and I think like I said, I think we'll get started right off the bat here with doing the contract, because that will be a nice little payday for us. So we will accept contract. Perfect. And we'll head up to the shop, pick that up, and we'll get started. Now, a couple things to talk about. So I've been, you probably haven't even realized it, except for the fact that I didn't have a video out on Wednesday, but I've been away for a couple of days. It was impulse type of situation where my wife and I decided just to take a long weekend. My wife's sister is a travel agent and is always looking out for good deals and things, and found something that we both were like, man, that's a steal. We should just take a long weekend and try to take a break from the craziness that's been going on a bit in our life. So More specifically, what I'm referencing to that is, I've talked about it a couple of times, right? What happened at work and just how crazy work's been besides just that happening. And then my wife's also been having a rough time too. So it's like, sometimes you just need a little bit of a mental break, if you will. And that's what we decided to do. We just take a long weekend and have a mental break. So that's why I haven't really been around, and I'm going to try to get to some comments. I know there's some comments out there for me to reply to, so I apologize for that, but I'll get to them here very, very soon, this weekend for sure. Anyway, my goal initially was to try to get a video out for Wednesday as well. Then the guys and I, on the competitive one-tile challenge, we decided to do 2 videos, and then that just kind of drained me. I was the day that we did those recordings, I had got home at around 3:30. I was in bed just before 4 a.m., I think. And I had to work part of that day. I was going to work the whole day, and then we didn't get back until then. So then I decided, well, you know what? I am just going to take a half day off on that as well. So that's what I did. And, so I started working at, 1 o'clock, I guess. Still, pretty exhausted. It was my own fault. I'm not blaming anybody but myself. But, that's the reason why I guess you didn't have a video on Wednesdays, because we decided to do 2 that night, the guys and I, on the competitive one-tile challenge, which is great. Actually, it helps me a lot because they were able to get the recordings done in time. So we'll have, I said, I think before, I said last week, I said that there's probably going to be, no video on Thursday. Ends up that there was one on Thursday. So a bit of a surprise there for all of you, I suppose, yesterday. But nonetheless, that was not initially the plan. It just turned out that in the winter months, the 3 of us, we really didn't have a ton to do. So it was a bit of a struggle to find things to do during those winter months. So we decided, we'll make them a little bit shorter than we do. Or at least the first one was a little bit shorter than normal. And then, do another one that night. So that way, we were able to do what we wanted to do. And we were able to get the videos out there for you to watch, which I know is a very, very... Can I please? No. Too far away from course segment. How am I too far away from... Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Oh, it wants me to go that way. Interesting. Okay. I did not expect... Well, I guess now that you look at it, yeah, it probably does make sense to go that way. Anyway... I need to do this too. I'm just screwing everything up here, gang. It's been a couple days. I told you I'm rusty. I said that in the competitive one-tile series, but it's the truth. Can I... Maybe I can't do it here. Crop sensors on. Doesn't seem like I can change. I was hoping I could change... the amount it's spraying, like to a lower amount, but it doesn't really appear that that's actually possible. So that's all right. That's okay. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, I'm a little rusty. It's been a couple days, so bear with me. But we're back in the groove. We're getting back in the groove, so just bear with me. But anyway, so yeah, we did that, and just sometimes you just need that mental break, I guess is how we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. So that's what we did, right? We just decided we found such a good deal. It was in flight and hotel included. It was like a no-brainer almost, right? It really was. So we decided to do that, and honestly, we went down to the Orlando area. We actually like going to Orlando in the winter months. It's normally... So I'm very much a warm-blooded person, and I don't really like the heat. Let's put it like that. I don't like the heat. So when I go Florida, things like that, I like to go during the winter months, which most people would go during like spring breaks and the summers or whatever. I like going in the winter months because you can still get some cold in Florida, and that was the case this time. So when we were down there, the day we were leaving, the high in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, the high was 53 degrees. With the wind chill, it felt like 44 out, I think, almost the entire day. Like, that is cold for Florida. The day before that, it was like 80-something degrees in Florida, and we were burnt. So we were actually freezing, which I never, ever get cold, but we were freezing. So it was something, man. It was not what we expected at all there. And And then, normally when we do go to Orlando, we normally go late January, early February, something along those lines. Normally is when we would go to Florida normally. Went a little bit later this year, obviously, because we weren't planning to go at all. They just stumbled across it. Evidently, that week we went, which we didn't realize, it's a big holiday week for the northeastern part of the United States. I haven't really explored a whole lot of the northeastern part of the United States. I've been a couple places, but we really haven't been much up there, so I didn't know this. Maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you are from the northeastern part of the United States. But anyway, evidently it's like a week off, and busiest I've ever seen it in the winter months. Let's put it that way. It was slammed. So do not think we'll be going that week ever again in Florida. I think we'll try to stick more towards into January, early February. I don't really love crowds and busyness all that much. So I try to stay away from that as much as possible. But this time we had no choice, right? We went down there just expecting to have a nice little quiet trip, and if you will, in Orlando, which I know that sounds crazy, quiet in Orlando. Orlando is always busy, but normally when we go, it is normally relatively quiet. So, but anyway, it still was a good time. Just a lot busier than we had anticipated it to be when we were down there. On the way back, there was a big, massive snowstorm. Get the words correct there, Z. Snowstorm on the East Coast. So there was a lot of flights delayed and canceled, etc., because they couldn't get out or whatever. So it was a bit of a mess the day we were leaving, and part of the reason why we were so late getting back, really. So anyway, we live about, I've said it many times, I live in southern Ohio. We live about 50 minutes or maybe an hour, something like that, from the airport-ish. So we landed at like 2:45-ish. When, of course, we were at the very back of the plane, so took us a while to get off the plane, and then by the time we got to our car, we parked in, like, the extended economy, whatever, the cheapest you could get, right? So it's not like they're rushing out there to get you and take you back to your car or whatever. We got a shuttle back to the car, basically, is what I mean. And by the time we got all that done, we weren't really on the road until after, well, quite a bit after 3, I think, and then weren't at home and in bed till almost 4. So it was a rough day. So was it fun? Was it worth it? Yes. Would I do it again? Maybe, yeah, as long as I don't have such a late flight. Our flight was supposed to be late in general. Our flight was supposed to get home. We were supposed to get in at like midnight, something like that, which normally for me, that's not that big of a deal. I'm normally up till midnight, 1 o'clock every day anyway. I just don't sleep a ton, but when you're supposed to work and you're getting in at that late, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. If I was younger, I probably wouldn't have a big deal, but I'm getting old, man. Anyway, how is everyone doing after that long-winded explanation? I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, we're cruising along here, man. I've got to get back in the groove of all these different series we got going on. I've kind of lost track of where some of this stuff is, not specifically this series. This series is relatively easy for me to follow and keep up with what we're doing, but the Kin Leg, I was a little bit behind on where we were. The competitive one-tile challenge hasn't really been that big of a deal for me to get caught back up into, because I'm loving that series so much, along with everyone else, I think, that it hasn't been a struggle. I have had a plan. It's been a plan that I've had for a long time, so it's well, in my brain. The struggles we had with the crane and the things of within the Kin Leg series for the offshore aqua farm stuff, that one has been a struggle to get back into the groove there, but there will be an episode for that on Monday. At least there should be on Monday. The Z Lanka series that's on Sunday, in the past episode we were having issues with going into the menu to the production and actually getting to the pickle production. Trying to figure that out. I am struggling to figure out what mod it is that is not liking that mod. I'm having a hell of a time getting that sorted out. So hopefully I'll have that done and ready to go here soon. I was working on that late last night when I just honestly was exhausted and didn't feel like doing anything specifically. So I was just kind of playing around, seeing if I could figure out what mod it was. I would load up the game, remove some of these mods, and then see if it worked. And I'm struggling, man. I really am. I'm having a hard time finding the specific mod, but we'll figure it out. Even if I have to go down to the nth degree where I remove every mod except for the mods that we're actively using and then go that way, unless, you know, that might be what I end up having to do. Which I'm just going to have to write down every mod that we're actively using because I'm going to forget some of those. I know that. And then just go through and select them, right? And then kind of go at it from that approach. I think that's the only other way I can go about this right now. I do think it is from... I mean, I'm not positive, but I do think it is from a mod from this series specifically because I never had an issue in that series until I installed this map. So the continuation of the issues we've been having continue. But it's fine. You know, it's fine. If we can figure out what it is over time, it's not going to be that big of a deal, right? And eventually, like I said, this is really going to end up being a mini series, since the other series that was supposed to be what this had to be unfortunately scrapped, right? So we're just kind of carrying along with that series on this map, so it won't be something that goes on for forever, I guess is how I should put it. So yeah, it looks like we're going to utilize up the entirety of the first. We did the first load here, but there is still a little bit left over here. It should be enough to do the rest of this field, but we're going to have to buy another one for sure to be able to do our fields, right? So it's not going to fill this thing back up to max. I think it had like a 1,200 liter capacity, so it should be about 800 going in here. Yep, perfect. Now, the Agroforest series, I'm trying to decide what I want to do with that series specifically. I'm kind of considering, I think we might just call that series quits at this point. It was really more of a exploration series for me than anything. It's clear that you can do what I'm trying to do, or what I was trying to do in that series, I guess is what I should say. It can be done. Not easily, but it can be done. But we'll see, right? I haven't deleted it or anything like that. I might end up... you know, bringing it back, who knows, but I think we're going to at least take a little bit of a hiatus on that series for a little while. The Tree Devour mod with all of the trees there, I've been doing a lot of tree work lately until just the last few episodes, I guess, on a lot of these different series, so I just kind of want to take a bit of a break, I think, from doing some tree work. It's not my favorite thing to do, so I've got some other ideas and things I'm going to do, but, you know, well, it'll be there, and so if later on we decide to bring it back, we will, and now that I say that, who knows? I mean, you never know. It might not be that long, but it'll be a little bit longer than you're used to. Normally it's like every week and a half, 2 weeks or something, we would have an episode of that. It's not going to be that, so as we move forward here. All right, so where are we missing here? What portion of this field are we missing? Because it still says we have quite a bit left here, and I feel like we've hit everything at this point. And I really don't want to waste anything if I can help it. It's not going to show me, is it? It's not. Here it is. Okay, we found it. It's right here. All right, it does show me. Good, good, good. All right, so I must have missed a... interesting. So it's down here. I would have thought it was over here, but evidently, no. Well, there is bits and pieces over here that I was missed, but this is the big portion down here. I guess it does kind of stick out this way a little bit further there, doesn't it? Oh well. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Okay. What else? What else can we talk about? What else can I talk about? I think that might be pretty much it. All I have really left to bring up. Don't think there's anything else that we haven't talked about. The competitive one-tile challenge is going great in regard to things that I've done. The next stage of my plan, no major spoilers, but the next stage of my plan is going to happen tomorrow, I think it should be out tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday, right? Yeah, tomorrow. I'm doing this not obviously on Friday or Thursday, or I'm doing this on another day, so Yeah, it should be out Saturday. I think that's right. All right, so that field is done. So we can go ahead and turn this contract in, and I would like to do that just to give ourselves a little bit more money here. Like I said, we are going to need another one, so we might as well go ahead and do so, right? We're going to have to make a couple trips here. I'm not willing to buy that extra tank in the front, although maybe I should. I'm not going to do it right now. I don't think we need it at current. I can drive up here. It's not like we have right now at least tons to do. We're basically going to be doing that spraying, and that's the main thing we have to do today, and then we can look at contracts, of course. And we will. If there's anything else. I don't know if there will be or not, but you never know. We'll keep an eye on it. There's nothing out there right now, but we'll keep an eye on it. Well, there's fertilizing, but I would still have to buy the fertilizer pallet, which that pallet is not cheap for fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, right? $3,200, not cheap. So we wouldn't even get our money back if we were to go that approach, so not something I don't think we want to do right now. I am going to take this bit of a shortcut that we talked about quite a few episodes ago, I think, at this point. Where eventually, if we do buy this field, I'd probably put a track in down to the shop just to make our life a little bit easier to get to it versus having to drive all the way around on the outside perimeter road there. Wouldn't really have to take up a whole lot of, this field, if any, to get, a quick shortcut over to here, right? Maybe widen the corners a bit, but other than that, we really wouldn't have to do a whole lot. Now, I believe if I drive over this, it's going to kill it. Oh. Maybe not. Is that killing it? I don't know. I don't feel like it is killing it, because I just drove over that corner. It's still there, so I think maybe we can drive over this, too. I thought maybe we'd have to suffer with this one, but it looks like we are. And it also looks like... So, friend Crustu noticed that it kills... Well, it still says weeds there, actually, now that you look at it. But it looked like in the competitive one-tile challenge, you could drive over the weeds and kill them. At least from his perspective, you could do it. Which was kind of interesting, right? I would not have expected driving over the weeds to actually kill them, but evidently on that map it says it does. So he found a loophole there. So we got to do all three of these fields. It's going to take us a while, but that's okay. That's all right. And for whatever reason, it's not killing any of those. Maybe it was just portions of it, because the rest of it doesn't say it needs anything. It says weeds here. And I just sprayed it. But it's not like the whole field. It's just like part of the field. Isn't that weird? See that? It's just like the outside of the field for some reason. Well, you know what? I'm just going to drive down here to the end. I mean, none of this says it has weeds, though. It's like it's just up on top of the hill. Alright, well, you know what? We'll go to the top of the hill and across over to there, and we can start on those. Weird. Very weird. I guess I can turn the beacons off. I guess I don't need those on anymore. Although this technically is a road. It's not a road track. There's a stop sign on it. Yeah, it would definitely be nice to have that addition to the sprayer where it would only spray whenever there's a weed, because I feel like we are wasting a lot of herbicide here, excuse me. But, it is what it is, right? It's fine. What else could we do? Nothing. It would be nice on the map if it showed you, the weeds and if it's spraying them like it does for precision farming, but it's not, so. Well, we gotta get this field done and that little field over there done, so let's get to work, huh? Well, this is not what I expected. I did not expect to have to put some tram lines in on this field. That's very much unfortunate. I don't think I'm going to do the entire field, if I'm honest with you. I think we're just going to have to suffer with some of the field not having a perfect yield here. I was very surprised by this. I was not expecting this field, and maybe I should have checked it before I drove through it way over there, but I was not expecting this field to already be in a state where, you know, it was having crop destruction on. Very, very surprised by this, because I thought this was one of the last ones we did, but yeah, that's really gonna hurt our yield. But you know what? I guess I'll do one more pass. I guess I don't love it, but I guess I will. It's still not gonna be perfect. We're still gonna have bits that are missed. There's not gonna be a whole lot I can do about that. But we'll go one more pass, I guess. I hate tram lines. I understand the point of them in real life. I get it. This is how it would be in real life. I totally get that. But I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I feel like I'm killing way too much crop, right? Way too much crop here. My yield is just dwindling from every second here, right? I hate it. But well, what can you do, right? It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. All right, the rest of it, whatever weeds end up coming there, they're just going to have to be there. There's not going to be anything I can do about it. That's it is what it is. But this field, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no problems at all there. Still weird about the mustard field. Still, I'm not really sure I understand what's going on with the mustard field. You know, but whatever. Not sure I'm going to understand it. I mean, it doesn't really have any kind of weeds of any sort anywhere else that I can find. It was just in that little corner for some reason, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's because we were... I mean, it's been a couple of days, but maybe it's because we accidentally planted something there that we didn't want to plant. I mean, it probably is what it is. I don't know. But anyway... Alright, so this is all done. Is there anything in the contract realm for us to be able to take care of at all right now? I would highly doubt it at this point, but it's worth taking another peek. No, there's not. There is not. So there's mowing, hoeing, harvesting. Is that a corn? Yeah, corn. That's pretty decent money. But I don't think we're going to be doing that today. I don't think we'll be doing, as a matter of fact, anything else today. I think we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button for me. In the case you've yet to do so, they are free, and they help me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those. The next episode... I think the next episode, well, it's either going to be December or January. One of those, we are going to be in a selling stage here, which is going to be great. That's going to produce a little bit of extra money for us, a little bit of extra income, which is going to be much needed. And, yeah. We'll keep on cruising. Thanks to my members. Cannot thank them enough. There's a link down below if you want early access to videos like this one, including the competitive one-tile challenge. My other channel's down below. My Discord's down below. Everything you need, all down below. Thanks for your continued support. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.